The question I'm doing is on page 110, question 2. Here's the question. You use a string to suspend a ball with a mass of 22 grams from the ceiling of a moving speedboat. The ball and the string hang at an angle of 32.5 degrees from the vertical. For A, calculate the magnitude of the speedboat's acceleration. Do you need to know the mass of the ball to make this calculation? Why and why not? In order to calculate the acceleration of the speedboat, we need to know the horizontal component of the tension. And to know the horizontal component of the tension, we either need to know the tension or we need to know the vertical component of the tension. And from the free body diagram, we can see that the vertical component of the tension is equal to the force of gravity. And therefore, we also know the mass of the ball, so we can calculate the force of gravity. So the first line, we can set it up like this. After we have our first line here, which basically says that the force of gravity is equal to cos theta, which is 32.5 right here, of the tension force, which is the vertical component of the tension force. And then we plug in the values and we solve for the tension. After we have the tension right here, 0.26 Newton, we can find the acceleration of this boat by setting up this equation, in which F net of the ball is equal to the acceleration times the mass of the ball. And by looking at this free body diagram right here, F net in this case will equal to the horizontal component of the tension. So we can set up the second line like this. And here we'll make going forward being positive. And after we have this line, all we have to do is sub in the numbers. And after we have that line, we can just calculate the acceleration by plugging in the numbers into the calculator. And there we go. The acceleration of the speedboat is 6.2 meters per second. And for part B, it's asking for the tension, the magnitude of the tension in the string, and also it's asking do we need to know the mass of the ball to make this calculation. In the process of doing A, we found that the tension is equal to 0.26 Newton, so therefore we answered B. Now, there's two more questions that we have not yet answered. Do we need to know the mass of the ball to calculate the acceleration? And the answer is no, because here we have the mass right here. If it was an unknown, we can keep it as a mass. And as we bring it over here, since the vertical component of the tension is equal to F net, it will cancel out with the mass on the other side. Therefore, we can still find the acceleration without knowing the mass. For part B, do we need to know the mass of the ball to do the calculation and find the tension? Well, the answer is yes, because in this equation, we have two unknowns if we do not know the mass. The tension is unknown, and the mass would be unknown. Therefore, you are unable to solve the tension.